Hello and welcome to the Not Too Shabby YouTube channel. My name is Lynn, or LV Handcrafted, here on YouTube, and today I am crafting with the March 2024 Box of the Month. In the Box of the Month, you do get two full 6x6 paper pads, but I'll be crafting with tulips for sale for this card. And I've started off here with a sheet of double-sided adhesive, and I buy them by the sheet, 8.5 by 11, and I cut this one down to 4 by 5.25. I start my pattern off with a square in the center. That's the white square, and I did position it so it's more of a diagonal on my card. My first strip, I just have it flush with one edge of the square, and then I run that completely off the edge of the panel. My next strip is butt up against that and perpendicular to it, and again running it straight off the edge of the panel, and then I just continue all the way around. So I've got this sort of pinwheel effect going on here. Then, with those 4 initial strips started, I am going to focus on one corner at a time. And what I'm going to do is kind of lay down these strips so that they are almost staggered like bricks, or sort of a parquet flooring sort of pattern. So when I put one strip down, I'm just going to put the next strip perpendicular to it, where the short end butts up against the long end, and I will alternate back and forth until I've filled out that quadrant. Now, the nice thing about this type of pattern is it's really great as a scrap buster, because you just need these little strips. It doesn't even matter how wide they are, how long they are, because some of the longer strips you want to save for earlier on in your pattern, but as you get sort of closer and closer to the borders or the edge of your panel, you don't need quite as long of strips. So as I'm filling out this corner here, I'm going to snip off the strips, and then I'm going to continue to use them. And you might need to, because those are cut at an angle, you might need to just kind of cut another sort of flush or flat 90-degree edge on them to continue to use them in your pattern. But you can definitely fill up an entire card panel like this pretty quickly just with your leftover scraps. Truth be told, I cut down full 6x6 sheets to get these strips because I really love this look, and sometimes even without scraps, it's nice to create this look because it's not a lot of pattern paper. You don't have to be precise. It doesn't matter that the strips aren't the same width. Same with the little gap that I'm leaving. Those don't all need to be precise either, because at the end of the day, when it's done, the pattern as a whole is what the effect is, and it doesn't really matter if there's individual elements that aren't exactly equal to one another, because it's collectively as a whole the overall look that you're creating. So I'll continue in this way, just sort of filling in each of these corners here. The only thing I'm really taking into consideration as I'm choosing which piece to lay down next is to try to balance the color distribution a little bit. So I don't want things to feel too green in one section or too blue in another section. And similarly, if there are some colors that are really strong or like really dark colors that might attract the eyes, I definitely pay attention to trying to really spread those out around the card. So for example, some of the pattern papers in this paper pad have some nice pops of pink, and pinks and reds can be a very strong color that immediately pop off the page. So for the people who are very attracted to reds and pinks, I want to make sure that those are sprinkled throughout this entire panel and not just concentrated in one particular area. That way, whatever your eyes are most attracted to, be it a color or a particular pattern, if it's well dispersed throughout the panel, then hopefully that helps to move your eyes throughout the whole panel so that you take in the whole thing and you're not totally fixated in just one area. That's really my only consideration. That and using up my scraps efficiently. So I just try to use everything up until it's so small that it's not worth saving anymore. And so with all of the strips laid down, remember, I put this all onto a sheet of adhesive. So where I left those gaps, that has exposed adhesive. So I just poured a bunch of glitter right over my panel, and I'm going to burnish that glitter into those gaps, into that adhesive, so that it's well stuck down. So if you think about those strips, if you've ever done any sort of tile work and you think about those strips as maybe laying down your tiles, now we are applying the grout in between the tiles. And that's what the glitter is in this case. And really, really fun technique, and it's a great way to use up glitter because I often don't use it too much anymore. I do some resin crafting, like making coasters and whatnot, and so I've been using my glitters in resin, but in my paper crafting, I haven't really used it a ton. But this is definitely one technique where I feel like it's a good place to use your glitter. And if you're worried about the mess and the cleanup, I definitely recommend using Swiffer sheets. They are great for picking up the glitter. So I just wiped this panel with a Swiffer sheet, and that just picks up anything that didn't adhere to the adhesive, and it's great cleanup too. So I'm sure there's like some glitter that's going to be on my desk for a little while, but this really got maybe 98% of it. So definitely recommend that. The other thing that you could use as your grout, so to speak, if you don't like crafting with glitter, is gilding flakes. So if you have some gilding flakes, or if you have some transfer foil, maybe you could use both of those to have a really nice gilded or gold or any color really foiled look for that sort of grouting area. Gilding flakes are really easy to burnish into those little itty bitty gaps. Your foil might be a little bit harder, but it could work for sure. Anything that would really stick to adhesive, you could use with this technique in lieu of glitter if you're not a fan of glitter. But I like this for glitter because otherwise I struggle to find uses for my glitter. So to start putting my card together, I'm going to first start off with some solid color cardstock. And I mentioned earlier that adhesive sheet I cut down to 4 by 5.25. So it was cut knowing that I wanted to frame it. And for my sentiment, this is a really, really lovely sentiment. It's from one of the 3 stamp sets that you get. The particular stamp set is Full Bloom, and the sentiment reads, "You are loved, worthy, fearless, beautiful." It's such a lovely sentiment. I really, really like it, and I want to keep the whole card really simple. I love that it was included with a flower too, because I feel like just the simplicity of it just makes that sentiment so much more bold, and it just feels really like a really nice encouragement kind of card to send. So I'm gonna just add a couple of glitter embellishments, glitter dots from Not Too Shabby. It's in a really lovely green color that matches the papers and the green glitter that I used as my grout. So everything just works really beautifully together. The card is nice and simple, but I love that the sentiment is such a lovely sentiment. And I like keeping everything kind of simple so that the pattern that we created in that background can really shine. And so I hope that you like this technique. If you try it out, I would love to see what you create. So do share it to the Not Too Shabby Facebook group. Thanks for checking out my video today, and until next time, happy crafting and have a fabulous day. Bye!